You're so vain. Probably think this pod is about you. You're so vain. Welcome to the third episode of the podcast. And like any good TV show, this is where we hit our stride. The best kind of TV shows. First two episodes, you kind of think you know what the premise is, and then the third turns it on its head. We're going to do that today. Now, what I want to say to you is shocking. It's going to be shocking. It's going to be revelatory, and it's going to be not surprising. So, how many times in the last 4 years have we heard revelatory things that were not surprising? You're going to hear another one. There's something much worse going on in Hollywood than you think. And no, it's not eating babies in a pizza parlor. Don't be stupid. If you want to eat babies, you throw a pool party. Have you seen the Diddy trial? It's very clear. It's all out in the open. Why would you go to some dingy pizza parlor in Brooklyn? It's stupid. You're rich. It's like that clip where Whitney Houston said, Oprah, I'm too rich to smoke crack. Or was it Diane Sawyer? I'm not really sure. But I don't smoke crack. I'm too rich. We don't go to a pizza parlor. We're too rich. And look, certain things in this podcast are LARPing. Certain things in this podcast are true. Much of it is true. But you have to understand that some of the truth is not true. Okay? Some of the truth is not true. But you're an adult. You understand that. Some of the names have been changed to protect me. I don't care about the innocent, because I'm not innocent. But the names have been changed to protect me. So what's going on in Hollywood?
Studios are broke, and when the money dries up, they don't reinvent, they recycle. Hi, it's producer Patrick bringing you the latest in the ever-evolving film and TV industry.
There's a guy on the internet called Producer Patrick, and for the most part, he has his story right. But he's a reality and unscripted producer from what I understand. So he makes these videos about how the state of the entertainment industry is very dire. It's bleak. It's bleak and dire. Bleak and dire. It's worse than bleak and dire. It's dead. You can't get more dire than dead. It's dead. And the reason it's dead is because of hypocrisy. Producer Patrick likes to think that if there was a tax incentive in LA, or if Film LA let people shoot on the street with, less encumbrance of permits and regulations, that something would change. And having been inside the system, I have some bad news for you. It's not going to change. Unless one thing happens. So first of all, let me explain to you what's going on and how Producer Patrick doesn't have the whole story. It's much more complicated. It's always much more complicated than it appears. And much more complicated than the press tells you. Because who's reporting on this? Who's reporting on the death of the entertainment industry? Honestly. The corporate media? Who is the entertainment industry? Why are you believing them? They're reporting on themselves. So do you think they're going to give you the honest story? The answer is, are you an idiot? Here's what's actually going on. And I'm going to pull something up right now. My computer has locked me out. Here is what's actually going on. I was on the inside, so I know. Producer Patrick, if you are listening, I want to tell you what's actually going on. It's a lot worse than you think, because it has to do with the hypocrisy of Hollywood executives. If you look at these people's social media profiles, every day is some new social issue, and I'm talking about from the top to the bottom. They're complaining about this, complaining about that, signaling how morally superior they are to you and everybody else, while at the same time doing everything to F over creatives. Because the people who run Hollywood are not creatives or creative. They've never made anything in their life except huge messes of situations and productions that would have been perfectly fine if they didn't intervene and mess them up. But that's what they're there for. They're there to mess them up and take all the money and leave the creators with a fraction of what they deserve. And that's exactly why they hate the internet. So, why is there no production in LA? On the surface, the corporate media would tell you that it's because there's no tax incentive in LA. If we only had an unlimited 30 to 35% tax incentive in LA, then everybody would come back and film. All the Marvel movies, all the Netflix shows, everything that's went to New Jersey or Ireland or the Canary Islands. It's all gonna magically come back here and everything's gonna be okay. Do it. Put the tax incentive in place and see what happens. Because I'm telling you, filming is never, with a certain few caveats, coming back to LA. So producer Patrick will make a video about how film LA is it's too restrictive and it's too hard to film. And that's why people don't want to come back to LA, right? That's the next argument. Wrong. Good hunch. Sounds plausible, but wrong. Now, why is it wrong? The very limited amount of money that these streaming services are making in America is going to production in states where there's no union. And unions are not the only problem, but it's a huge element. The Hollywood executives are anti-labor. Look at it. They all have AI initiatives right now to literally get rid of the creatives. Forget about reducing production costs. They want to get rid of the people who have the idea. You understand? You understand? And that's not even the real reason that there's no production. It's just a disconnect between their public messaging of we support creatives. We're here. This is all about the art. It's all about the money. As David Geffen said, It ain't show friends. It's show business. So when they go and they criticize other corporations for outsourcing, it's to deflect from their rot. And it's even worse than that. Get ready for the truth bomb. Hit me. During the pandemic, the shutdowns made production impossible in America. Every city shut down, so they went overseas. And they didn't think of the long-term consequences. These streamers are international, which means they make money all around the world. If somebody in Europe gives Netflix or Disney, or that one guy that is subscribing to Paramount Plus in Europe, if that one guy's money gets made in Europe, it goes into a bank account in Europe. Through Ireland. Just like every rich person that they criticize who's dodging taxes in America. And that money sits there, barely getting taxed, and it needs to be put to work. So, what do? You can't film in America. Because if you bring the money back to America, then you have to pay American taxes on it before you even start production on a frame of film. Then you have to pay unions in America. I've heard a business affairs lawyer at a major studio tell me that you can get an entire department abroad for the same price as one union member here. For those of you out there not in the industry, that's about 5 to 10 people for the price of one. So what's happened? All of these companies are now international conglomerates. You hear them talk about international conglomerates as a bad thing. But they are one now. Look, this is a symptom of a problem. It wasn't their intended outcome, but now we have a situation. Look at the balance sheets of these companies. A lot of their income from subscription is abroad. It's overseas. They're not going to spend it here. The limited amount of production that's happening in America is going to be in non-union states. Unless you're a major celebrity, or it's very important in the script to shoot in New York, or put them over the river into Jersey for a better tax incentive. Shows like, and just like that, obviously a New York show. Euphoria obviously has the ability to film in America, but major films that are mostly green screen, TV shows that are just procedurals, they're, nondescript. You can fake the fire hydrants for other cities. Those aren't coming back. Because the major problem is the treasuries of these companies are now sitting overseas. I know you've probably heard stories on the news about how Apple has trillions of dollars overseas and they're trying to bring it back and they can't. It's the same problem in Hollywood, but they will never tell you that. The corporate media will never tell you that because it would mean snitching on their bosses. The industry press will never tell you that because it would mean snitching on their bosses, because Variety and the Hollywood Reporter, all of their money comes from selling ads to the studios for your consideration. They're called advertorials. It's pay to play. You buy $1 million worth of ads and, oh, your executive gets listed on the top 10 smartest, biggest dick people in the city. Coincidence? No. It's a system. So, who's going to call this out? I guess I have to. And producer Patrick, I would love for you to investigate this a little bit, because there are people that can help with this. I believe Congress needs to act in order to onshore our entertainment revenue so that we can start American production again. We need to fix the situation. We could complain about this all day long, but I'm your better judgment, and you can't help yourself. So here's the solution. There needs to be a forgiveness for corporations to bring their offshore revenue back to America and produce here. Because you can have all the tax incentives that you want, and you can have all the deregulation of filming on the street. But unless the money is in a bank account of these multinational corporation media conglomerates in the United States of America, Hollywood is over. So what are we going to do? We have to kiss the ring. Unfortunately, everybody needs to suck it up. The President of the United States right now has the power, and Congress has the power to bring back American production. So I'm asking you, please do it. Every day I see people that I know and I've worked with lose their homes. They have children. They're taxpayers. They're union members that are trying to work, trying to contribute to their pension and health. Their pension and health funds that are being eviscerated because no one in LA is working. So please, everybody, put your morals aside and let's be practical. We have to ask the Trump administration to allow us to bring back American production. It's more than just a tax incentive. It's about onshoring our creative capital where it belongs. So, God bless America. God bless Hollywood. And I'll see you on episode 4. Remember, like and subscribe for more. I'm your better judgment because you can't help yourself.